There's a phase in trading that almost nobody survives, not because they're stupid, not because they lack intelligence or effort, but because this phase attacks something far deeper than strategy. It quietly dismantles who you think you are. It's the moment when the excitement fades, the charts stop feeling hopeful, and the screen in front of you becomes a mirror reflecting doubt, impatience, and ego. You sit alone at a desk late at night, charts paused as if the market itself is waiting to see what you'll do next. Messages go unread. The glow of the screen feels colder than before. This is the point where trading stops being a dream and starts becoming psychological pressure. Most people don't walk away here because they failed. They walk away because staying would force them to confront their impatience, their need for validation, and their discomfort with uncertainty. And here's the brutal truth. If you quit at this stage, it's not because the market defeated you. It's because you were never meant to endure what winning actually requires. You were told trading is about strategy, about discovering the perfect system that finally makes the market behave. Indicators, entries, confirmations, signals, all carefully arranged to create the illusion that precision equals control. You were taught that if you studied enough charts, watched enough tutorials, and refined your setups long enough, consistency would eventually be guaranteed. So you believed the struggle meant you simply hadn't learned enough yet. That belief felt logical, comforting even. It gave you something to chase, one more tweak, one more indicator, one more strategy away from success. But that belief is the lie. The market doesn't reward preparation the way school does. It doesn't hand out results for effort, intelligence, or time spent learning. It doesn't test your strategy first. It tests you, quietly, repeatedly, and without emotion. It tests your patience when nothing happens for hours, and you feel the urge to force a trade just to feel involved. It tests your ego when a setup you trusted fails instantly, making you question your competence. It tests your discipline when moving your stop-loss feels justified, when breaking your rules feels reasonable, when revenge trading feels deserved. And it relentlessly tests your need to be right, the invisible addiction that convinces you to hold losers longer and cut winners too early. This is why strategy hopping feels productive but solves nothing. This is why backtests look perfect and live trading feels chaotic. The market exposes the difference between knowing what to do and being able to do it under pressure. Two traders can trade the same system at the same time with the same rules, and one will bleed while the other survives. The difference is not intelligence. It's emotional control under uncertainty. The market doesn't care how confident you felt before entering the trade. It only responds to how you behave after uncertainty enters the room. Until you understand this, every new strategy becomes another distraction, another excuse to avoid facing the real problem. Trading stops being difficult when you accept this truth. But before that, the lie keeps you trapped, hopeful, and repeating the same mistakes under different names. This is the phase nobody prepares you for, not because it's dramatic or explosive, but because it's slow, quiet, and psychologically exhausting. It's the part of the trading journey that doesn't look like failure from the outside, yet feels like erosion on the inside. Call it the silent loss phase, not because your account is being destroyed, but because something far more important is slipping away without making noise. Your wins stop feeling real. Even when you follow your plan perfectly, the profit feels fragile, temporary, almost accidental, like it could disappear at any moment. You don't celebrate wins anymore because you don't trust them. Losses, on the other hand, begin to feel personal, not as data, not as probabilities, but as proof that something might be wrong with you. Progress becomes invisible during this phase. You journal, review trades, adjust risk, stay disciplined, yet nothing feels different. There's no clear feedback loop, no obvious sign that you're moving forward. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and the absence of momentum becomes heavier than losing money ever was. You start measuring time instead of results, wondering how long this is supposed to last. Meanwhile, everyone else seems ahead. Other traders sound confident, post results, talk about growth, and you're left questioning how they moved forward while you're stuck in place. Even if you know social media is filtered, the comparison still lands. This is where doubt does its real damage. Not loud, dramatic doubt, but quiet, persistent questioning. You replay old decisions. You second-guess rules that once felt solid. You wonder if your progress is real or imagined. The charts don't change, but your relationship with them does. Every trade carries emotional weight now, even when risk is small. And that's the defining feature of this phase. You're no longer just managing money. You're managing belief. Because at this point, you're not losing money anymore, you're losing belief. This phase isn't an accident, and it isn't a detour on the path to profitability. It is the path. The frustration, the stagnation, the quiet doubt, all of it exists by design. The market created this phase to remove the wrong people long before real consistency becomes possible. Not because those people are incapable, but because they're emotionally incompatible with how the market actually works. The silent loss phase isn't there to punish you, it's there to filter you. And it does that by attacking the traits most people rely on to succeed everywhere else in life. The market doesn't want confident traders. Confidence seeks certainty, and the market offers none. It doesn't want motivated traders either. Motivation fades, spikes, overreacts, and pushes people to act when they shouldn't. What the market rewards is far colder and far less impressive on the surface. Disciplined, emotionally numb executors. Traders who can follow a plan without needing excitement. Who can take a loss without internal drama. Who can win without feeling invincible and lose without feeling broken. Emotional neutrality becomes the real edge, and this phase is where it's built. This is why the pain feels so personal. Everything you were taught to value, passion, belief, persistence, confidence, becomes a liability here. The market strips those traits down and replaces them with restraint, patience, and emotional containment. It teaches you that wanting it badly means nothing. That effort doesn't equal reward. That discipline matters more than intelligence. If trading rewarded motivation, everyone who worked hard, studied late, and believed in themselves would already be rich. But they're not. This phase exists to make sure you can survive success before you're allowed to experience it. Because profits without emotional control don't lead to freedom. They lead to overconfidence, reckless risk, and self-sabotage. The market delays rewards until it knows you can handle them without imploding. And the silent loss phase is how it finds out. This phase isn't about profit, at least, not in the way most traders expect. The money is secondary. The real work is invisible, internal, and relentless. What you're building right now is emotional callousing. Every frustrating day, every losing streak, every setup that doesn't go your way is a layer of mental armor being forged. You're learning lessons no indicator, strategy, or tutorial can teach. You're learning how to sit in boredom without forcing action, how to follow your rules even when the market feels unfair, how to accept being wrong without letting it define you. You're learning to stop seeking validation from wins, because wins come and go, and their absence is not a verdict on your ability. This is the quiet, brutal truth. Profitability begins when trading stops feeling important, when your emotions are no longer tied to every tick of the market. When you execute with detachment, and your decisions are governed by rules rather than hope or fear. The market doesn't reward excitement, and it certainly doesn't reward ego. It rewards consistency, and consistency comes from being able to endure boredom, disappointment, and the endless repetition of what seems invisible. The silent loss phase is not punishment, it's training. Every dull, frustrating, seemingly meaningless trade is conditioning you to respond correctly when real opportunity arrives. The traders who survive this phase don't just gain money, They gain resilience, patience, and the ability to execute under pressure. When you finally start to see consistent profits, it won't feel like luck. It will feel like the natural result of emotional mastery, the quiet, invisible skill you honed while nobody was watching, while the market tested you in ways you didn't understand. By the time profit finally matters, it won't control you. You'll control it. This is where most traders quit, not because they are incapable, but because this phase doesn't feel like progress. There's no excitement, no instant gratification, no dopamine rush from a big win or a flashy trade. There are no screenshots to post, no moments to brag about, no external validation to prove that all the effort, late nights, and frustration were worth it. Day after day, the work feels invisible, and without visible proof of success, the mind starts to doubt itself. You watch others post results, celebrate wins, and it seems like they're moving forward while you're stuck spinning in place. The world around you reinforces the illusion that you're failing, even though in reality, you're doing exactly what you need to do to survive. The truth is harsh. Most people don't fail trading because they lack strategy, intelligence, or effort. They fail because they can't endure silence. They can't endure the boredom, the uncertainty, and the invisible grind that precedes real consistency. Silence is not comfortable. It's a test of identity. It forces you to confront yourself, your impulses, your ego, and your need for recognition. If you can survive the quiet, you develop the internal discipline necessary to execute without emotion. But most quit because silence feels like stagnation, because the mind rebels against doing meaningful work without immediate reward. And that's why the market separates the winners from the rest. It doesn't reward talent. It rewards those who can sit alone with themselves, day after day, without external proof, until skill and emotional control compound quietly into consistent results. Most traders quit here, not because they were wrong, but because they weren't ready to outlast themselves. Survival requires patience, endurance, and an unwillingness to chase validation, qualities that only show up in the silent grind. Those who endure it emerge on the other side ready for profitability, while everyone else repeats the cycle, never understanding why they fell short. Surviving this phase doesn't require genius or complicated strategies. It requires discipline, clarity, and brutal honesty with yourself. There are only 3 rules that matter, and following them separates those who endure from those who quit. Rule 1. Trade small enough to stay emotionally flat. Risk too much, and every loss becomes a crisis, every win an addiction. The market doesn't care about your ego, it punishes emotional attachment. Small trades protect your mind while you build skill. Rule 2. Journal your feelings, not just your setups. Most traders focus only on charts, entries, and exits, but the real battle is internal. How you react under pressure, what you feel during a loss, how temptation creeps in, these are the lessons the market forces on you. Writing them down exposes patterns you can't see while trading live. Rule 3. Measure consistency, not profit. The money will follow when your behavior aligns with rules and discipline. Chasing profit first is the fastest way to crash. Focusing on consistency builds longevity. Here's the brutal truth. If you're chasing money, you're already late. The silent loss phase isn't about instant reward. It's about survival, emotional conditioning, and proving to yourself that you can endure the invisible grind. Stick to these rules, and you give yourself a chance not just to survive, but to emerge on the other side ready for true profitability. Ignore them, and the market will teach you the lesson again, often at a far greater cost. Every profitable trader has gone through this phase, the silent loss phase, the invisible grind that feels endless, the stretch where nothing seems to work and every win feels meaningless. You just don't see it because it's quiet. There are no social media posts, no screenshots, no celebrations, no applause. The progress is internal, subtle, and unseen. It's in the discipline you build when no one is watching, in the patience you cultivate when the market does nothing, in the emotional control you develop when losses sting but don't break you. This is the point where the market separates those who are capable from those who aren't. It's not about strategy, skill, or knowledge anymore. It's about endurance. The traders who survive this phase don't just become profitable. They become resilient, self-aware, and capable of trading without being controlled by emotion. And here's the truth you need to hear. If you're here right now, sitting in discomfort, questioning yourself, and feeling the weight of invisible losses, you are exactly where you need to be. You are closer than you think and further than you want. The journey isn't over, but surviving this phase means you are building the foundation every profitable trader needed to reach the next level. The quiet struggle you're facing is not a punishment. It's proof that you are still in the fight, still learning, and still capable of reaching consistency. The market isn't done with you yet, but neither are you. If this video hit home, know that you're not alone. Every trader who's ever reached consistency has faced this exact phase: the boredom, the frustration, the invisible grind. It's a test of patience, discipline, and emotional control, and it spares no one. The choice is simple. Survive the phase, endure the silence, and build the skill that the market truly rewards, or ignore it, resist it, and repeat it forever. Your progress isn't measured in wins or losses right now. It's measured in your ability to stay the course when nothing seems to be happening. Keep showing up, keep following the rules, and the results will come, but only if you let the process teach you first.